G'day Gorgeous, I so appreciate you tuning in today on the podcast that empowers women for life. I am streaming live from Miami, Florida on the beautiful beach here at Fontainebleau. And if you're brand new to this podcast, and I want to give you a massive welcome. Today's hot topic is around money. And the question from one of our ladies, Tamara, inside our mentoring group, Select, she says this: please help me, Amanda. How do I ditch my negative vibes around money and make it through feeling good about it and not evil? Wow, what a question. Stick around. The G'day Gorgeous podcast is where you're going to get raw, real and relatable stories, answers, insights and proven success steps that can truly help you overcome life's frustrations and go on to create and actually live the life that you will truly love, no matter who you are or where you have been. I'm Amanda Jane Clarkson. I am a best-selling author, inspirational speaker, entrepreneur and world-leading wealth and lifestyle coach for women. And to find out how I can help you gain the confidence to design and live your dreams through my Select mentoring and coaching, pop over to my website, gdaygorgeous.com, or click the link in the notes below after this podcast. Okay, let's dive deep into today's awesome, empowering podcast. And please be sure to have your journal handy and a nice cuppa or whatever you're into. Maybe it's wine o'clock. It certainly is over here in Florida. Ready for some more inspirational learning and aha moments. Good morning, gorgeous butterflies. I am streaming live from Miami, Florida. It's going to be a good one this morning. I have so much to cover, ladies, on this hot topic. Today's topic, the question that came in from Tamara, pseudonym, as you all know, has come in from Tamara on how can I ditch my negative vibes around money for good. And I'll give you the question in a moment, but you will absolutely need your journal, ladies, because this is going to be part one of a two-part series. Get your journal. You're going to be doing a lot of writing this morning. You know me, I love to dish out plenty of action steps because money is one of these subjects that really can get people so frustrated in life. It really can get people divided, agitated, angry. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people think it's amazing, some people think it's a purely evil substance. And I want to debunk a few myths today, and I'm going to be sharing with you a few home truths about money based on my many years of studying wealth, going along that journey myself. I've made so many mistakes. But you know, I'm still building on that topic, but I certainly have wisdom and experience on how to beat the negative thoughts and the vibes around money that keeps it away from us. And I know it's such a popular topic. So today what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the mindset around money, the first one, and then the second one we are going into practical tips and strategies about creating money and having money flow into your life. So give me a thumbs up or something, or a happy face if that sounds like something you'd be super interested in and you want to know more about on how to beat the negative vibes. And while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to call out the question that I received from one of you ladies inside our Select community, and here's how it goes. Here's what she says: how can I ditch my negative vibes around money? I grew up with parents that said money was evil. Oh, did you hear that? Money is evil. Look at all these love hearts people like this subject. Money was evil, and those who had it were greedy and didn't care about others. Now, I want you to listen to this very carefully. They are now in their 60s. My parents are broke, unhappy, and just scraping by. I don't want to end up like them. I want to learn how to make money and feel good about it, not evil. Please advise. That is a straight to the point question there, and I believe that Tamara, even though it's not her real name, it's one of you ladies inside Select, many of you probably have this same similar situation swirling around or similar experiences. So what I'd like you to do is pop yourself in the shoes of this story, these ideas, and please write down as many notes that you can. And as you know, at the end of this podcast, I'll be jumping in, interacting with you ladies and chatting with you. And I want to say thank you so much for jumping out of bed nice and early in Australia, 7 a.m. and joining me here in Miami, Florida. Ladies, can you believe I haven't even had a glass of bubbles today? I've been holding off because I wanted to give you my very best. Here's a little bit about my story about money, and I'm going to get into some really good tips and strategies, but I want you to put yourself in my shoes and imagine yourself on this story. Growing up as a child, I always wanted to be rich. Now I want you to think back to when you were a child. What did you think about money? Did you even know or understand anything about money? And I believe that I wanted to be rich, even though I didn't truly understand the essence of what it meant. For me, it just meant having more money than I could spend because I didn't want to have money problems. For me, as a young kid, being the middle child of 5 kids, I was always told by my parents, money doesn't grow on trees, Amanda. Go out there, get a real job and stay in that job till you get married, have some babies and live happily ever after, and the husband will take care of you. And if you want anything before you get married, you've got to work your backside off. I don't care how many jobs you have, but you've got to make all the money you want because we have none to give you. Now, there weren't chronic arguments in our house around money, but you know, like most Australian families, or probably most worldwide families growing up in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, you know, especially in the 60s and 70s, money wasn't as freely spent or as abundant as I notice it is in these days, perhaps because our parents came out of the war years and the years of lack mentality. And so for me, I would do almost anything to make money. Spinning wool, I'd babysit the neighbours' kids. My parents or my mum ran a daycare school with her sister. I would work there. Mum also brought children home and I'd bring them up at home. They were welfare children. I would go to the shop most days with my pocket money, buy as many mixed lollies as I could, the sweets, I think they call them over here in America, and I'd chop them all up into small pieces, you know, bag them up and sell them back to my family at night while they were watching television. Anything to make pocket money. I'd pick fruit, I would clean, I would mow the lawns. In fact, I'd even file my dad's fingernails. He was a tiler and he'd be on his hands and knees in the daytime working with concrete, which would really dry his hands out. And I would massage creams into them at the end of each night and file his nails for, 5 cents. Whatever I could do for money, I would do it, and I would save as much as I could. And I had this little black tin that I'd put my money into, and I'd shove it under my mattress, and just try and save as much as I could, because that's, for me, that was the mentality that I had, to get as much as you can, work as hard as you can, because one day, you're going to need it, or find a man who can look after you. Now, give me some sort of symbol. If you grew up with parents who sort of didn't really teach you anything about money. I mean, we certainly didn't get taught about money. It wasn't spoken around the dinner table. It wasn't spoken about around the dinner table. Certainly didn't learn a thing at school about money and understanding wealth creation or anything like that. I mean, I don't think I'm the only one, but if you grew up in a family where you were not taught understanding about money, respect, or how to create abundance in your life, give me a symbol. And I can see all the symbols going up right now. I don't think I'm the only one. And so it's little wonder that so many of us have this frustration and these negative feelings and vibes around money. And why I want you to, really place yourself in this story, in this scenario, and take as many notes as you can, because here's the truth, ladies. Less than 1% of the world population will truly end up extremely wealthy. And, that is a very tiny number when you really think about it. And so this is how many people don't think about wealth, don't plan for wealth, don't understand too much about wealth creation and why so many people have these negative vibes around money. And if you grew up with that lack mentality, those lack thoughts and those feelings from what you saw from your parents or your teachers or people around you in your community, your environment, then how can we expect anything to be different now as adults? Unless you're consciously aware of it, nothing can really change. So write down in your journal, ladies, as far back as you can remember when you were a child, what was the first memory of your financial dream? Now, some of you would have had one and some of you may have not, but did you have a financial dream, or was your dream different? I can share with you that mine was freedom. For me as a child, freedom meant I had to have money to be able to move out of home. I was desperate to get out of home, and I left home at the age of 16 after failing pretty much everything at school except religion and art, being told I was dumb and I wouldn't amount to much, but I needed to get out of home. I didn't like being at home for many varied reasons, but it meant I needed money. So that was my dream, freedom. Now, I didn't really understand the concept of wealth creation or anything like that as a child. I just knew that to live life on my own terms, and that's what I truly wanted, was to get away from my parents, my mum especially. I have 5 kids with all these welfare kids around the house. I needed money. And so the question I'd ask you now, thinking back to as your childhood or growing up as a teenager, what would you say your financial garden or financial blueprint is? Would you say it is of a poor mentality thinking, middle class mentality thinking, or more on the wealthy side? Now, some of you might have grown up in, extremely wealthy families, middle class, or, extremely poor. And please, I just want to put it out there. This is not about making anybody right or wrong, not about anyone, feeling bad about yourself. This is just a conversation and questions to help us think differently, and certainly no judgment from myself. As a mentor, I'm just bringing you information based on my journey, my experience, my results, and my own education around wealth creation. But really, ladies, it begins with that step is awareness. What is your thinking and your vibes right now around money? Are you a person, and you can only answer this yourself, do you live week to week, paycheck to paycheck, pretending that everything's okay, and you pop on this happy mask and robbing Peter to pay Paul, trying to keep up with the Joneses? In other words, trying to keep up with what society expects of you. Are you in that bucket? And as I said, there's no right or no wrong. It's just an awareness. Or are you in the other bucket where you know that to be truly free in life, or financially free and feel good around money, that perhaps you might want to think about saving money, investing money, growing your wealth, or changing the fruits, or the roots I should say, the garden, the roots in your garden, your mind garden around money. So you're going to think about this and ask yourself just for a moment, what is my mind garden? We'll call it the financial mind garden. Write that down in your journal, girls. The financial mind garden. What does yours consist of right now? Would you say that it's full of blossoming and blooming flowers? Or is it sort of overgrown with weeds that are sort of killing off any hope of little beautiful flowers growing right now in your financial mind garden? I really want you to think about this. Girls, as we go along, put your comments, put your frustrations in here, and I'm going to go through the community later after this, maybe sitting around the bar having I think I might have a little bubbles after this, and I'll interact with you all. Again, ask yourself, what does my financial mind garden look like right now? Is it overgrown with weeds, or have I got flowers blooming and blossoming all over the place? Now, I want you to write down this. The common language of the poor. Now, when I say poor, I'm not just talking about people who have loose change in their pocket. living from week to week, stressed out financially, all the gear and no idea about how they are going to live in the future in the manner that they're accustomed to right now. I mean, who wants to go through the best years of your life scrimping and scratching around, freaking out about money? And the poor financially, poor mentally, here's some of the languaging. And I want you to think about this, jot it down in your diary or your journal and ask yourself, oh shit, is this my language? Money isn't that important to me. Well, money isn't everything. Ask yourself, when was the last time you said that? I'm going to live it up today because I could be dead tomorrow. Oh, we don't need money. We can get by on the smell of an oily rag. Have you ever said that? Giving to others is far more virtuous than having money myself. I don't need to know anything about wealth creation. The universe will take care of me and everything will be okay. I just need what it takes to get by and worry about it next week. Now, they're just a few little phrases that are very common to poor thinking mentality, or people that clearly do not have a wealthy, abundant mindset, and certainly a bank account that matches. And so asking yourself, again, no right or no wrong, it's just an awareness. Do you use that language? Is that your common language? Any of that sound familiar with you? Give me a sign or a thumbs up or a face, an angry face or a crying face or whatever face, if you have used that language or you know that is your language. Because, if it is, it's a beautiful thing in the way that you can make a decision and a commitment to change it. It's not stuck there forever. It's kind of like going to your garden, your financial mind garden, with a little pick, and you can pull out those weeds. Things can be done about that. You don't have to put up with that for the rest of your life. That's what I do know. And again, I want you to write this down. There's a few little faces coming up there. Write this down in your journal, girls. TFWARD. TFWARD. My thoughts create my feelings create my words create my actions give me my result, and the result is my destiny. And so you've really got to think about this, become aware of, if nothing changes around your financial language, your financial habits, how will you change the destiny that you're on? It's a freight train to the end of the road here. And so if nothing changes, nothing changes. And I want you to think about your feelings around money, the subject of money, the way you feel about it. Pretend that's the roots in your garden, your financial mind garden. The feelings that you have, pretend they are the seeds or the roots that you have planted. Because whatever the seeds are that you've planted in your financial mind garden, that is what is going to come to the surface. That is going to be your reality, your result, your destiny. Either you have planted seeds that will turn into weeds, or you have planted seeds that will turn into beautiful blossoming flowers. And of course, even gardens that have beautiful flowers in them need to be taken care of. You need to still get in there and weed out the weeds occasionally. It's not all just set and forget. It is a constant energy and effort. If you want to create wealth, you want to kick the negative vibes around money, you want to make more money in your life, and that's the second part of this podcast. Not today, but the second part, I'm going to give you practical steps and actions on how to make money. But this today is about pulling out the weeds, because if we don't pull out the weeds, no business, no money-making adventure that you invest in will turn out successful, or as successful as it could be. Because here's what will happen. The flowers will start to blossom and bloom, but what will happen is the weeds will come in and strangle those flowers and kill them off. That is the reason why in most businesses fail, because of the person behind the steering wheel. It's not the business in most cases. Yes, you've got to choose the right business. Timing is everything. There are many elements about making a business successful, right? You've got to be the right person for the business. However, it is the person that's driving the business. The weeds come in and, kill off those flowers. And so here's what I know. What I heard, what I saw, and what I experienced as a child around my parents, my environment, my community, authority, people that, took care of you, teachers, cousins, family members, whoever you hung out with, that becomes your programming. And so this is why I never play the blame game. This is why, and of course, it wasn't always that way. This is from years and years and years of education and mentors that have helped me understand this. It's becoming aware. So think about it. What is your, what did you see? What did you hear? And what did you experience as a child? Because it becomes your belief. Now write this down. A belief is just a thought that we have over and over and over again. And so thinking about my childhood, I always thought that money was not in abundance, and that I thought that I'd have to work really hard, scrimp and save. And I didn't have what I would call an abundant mindset. Mine was more of running on fear. That's what I sort of grew up with, a fear around money. Oh my God, there's not going to be enough. I've got to work my fingers to the bones. I've got to get married and have babies and get a man to take care of me. And yet that was not my idea of success or a life that I wanted. It wasn't my idea of freedom. But that was the belief that I had, a belief that I needed to change. And so ask yourself the question, if you're watching this, and if you're new to this podcast, welcome again and thanks for tuning in. But ask yourself, what is my belief around wealth creation and money and people who have it? And then ask yourself, where did that belief come from? Did it come from my childhood? Did it come from something I saw in a movie, on TV, my teachers, my parents, my influence around my community, people I hung out with? Wow, where did that belief come from? Give me a little sign, girls, if you are enjoying this so far and you're getting some notes and you're getting a few aha moments, a few awakenings, a little bit more awareness around the financial mind garden. Give me some sort of acknowledgement that you're getting value, because that's so important that you get value from this. And I can see so many comments coming in, girls. I'm going to answer them after this podcast because I'll lose my way. And so again, I'm going to go back to the beliefs. And getting a few girls here that goes, yeah, I understand what you're saying. True feelings around money. I want you to listen to what I'm going to say here and jot down in your journal how many of these ring true for you. When when you talk about money, somebody else is talking about money, even me right now, I want you to listen to these words and ask yourself, am I feeling any of these? Guilt, shame, resentment, anger, rage, jealousy. I've got something to prove. I'm going to get out there and prove somebody wrong. Or are you feeling abundant? You feel prosperous and you feel good. Money, when somebody brings up the subject of money, you feel good about it. You feel interested. You feel that you can create something of value for others. You have something that is a fair exchange. What do you think about it? Do you have good feelings or not so good feelings, is what I'm saying. Because here's the truth. If your feelings are down here where you've got the guilt and the shame and the resentment and the anger, that is the vibe that you are emitting to the ether or the universe or whatever you want to call it. And that is the reason that money will always be pushed away from you. You are pushing money away just with those vibes, those feelings. Your feelings is your indicator of the vibration that you are omitting. Just write that down, girls, and ask yourself, oh my God, if somebody was to talk about money in my circle of influence, or even how I'm talking about it right now, are you feeling good, enthusiastic, inspired, or are you feeling down about it? Again, no judgment, just an awareness. Now, here's another question that I really want you to think about on how to ditch the negative vibes around money. Ask yourself what money means to you specifically. Is it something that you get that you cannot wait to get rid of? You can't wait to spend it instantly, usually on items that depreciate in value. Are you in that bucket, or are you in this bucket? You appreciate it. You feel that money is in abundance. You love to save it. You love to invest it. You pay yourself first. You know that you are worthy of it, because over time, true wealth gives you freedom. True wealth is where you can live off your investments and have so much flowing in, so much abundance flowing in, that you never have to work a day in your life. You simply do the things that you love to do. That's what true wealth creation is, where your assets and your investments have so much flow coming in multiple income streams perhaps, or just, some people have businesses, some people have property investments, some people have paper, they trade paper. Whatever it is for you, stocks and bonds, I don't know. But that's true wealth, when the money is coming in far greater than you can ever spend it, your needs for the rest of your life. And think about, wow, how long do I want to live? Do I want to live into my 90s, well over 100? It's quite common that you would be able to live well into your hundreds today. Ask yourself the question, with your current spending habits, will you be able to live in the life that you're accustomed to right now and be easily taken care of with what you have created with your wealth, with your financial garden up here? What is it looking like for you? Or you're just hoping and praying and letting the universe take care of you? Remember, the universe will take care of you if you take care of yourself first. You still got to think and be creative and add massive value to other people's lives, girls. That's what it's all about. And that's sort of what I want to get into the second part of this podcast, is the practical steps. And then here's another question I love to ask. If you, just before I go on, girls, just give me some sort of indication here. Is this of value, and is this something that is a super, super important subject, or you feel frustrated around it and you want some answers? Just give me something. I just want to make sure you're still there, because every time I talk about money, I seem to have so many people jump on. I'll just have a quick sip of this is my green juice. It's my pre-workout juice, and it keeps me plenty of energy. That's why I'm like an Energizer bunny. Hang on. It's not bubbles, but it will do till I get the end. I'm getting fabulous, girls. I love these little symbols. I love the interaction, because it helps me know that I am giving you what you need, what you want inside this community. And, I have such an enthusiasm to set you free of the shackles that sort of hold you back in life, because that used to be me in so many ways. And I'm still on this journey of empowering myself. And I love to share my insights with you, based again on my experience and my knowledge and my results. And so I don't think I got to ask you this question. If you are in a relationship, or you plan to be in a relationship, one of the biggest breakdown issues in a relationship is around money. The question is, do your values match your partner's values? And see, what happens in so many relationships is usually you might have one spender, one saver. One of you can't wait to get rid of the money. The other one wants to hold on to the money. And sometimes we hold on to it from fear, or if we have an abundance mindset, we start to clear out the weeds up here and plant more seeds that are going to blossom into flowers. Then we think about saving the money so that we can invest the money and grow wealth. See the difference? Some people hold on to their money so freaking tight. When you open up the purse to spend something, there's all moths and everything that come out. Or you got to get the dust off. Some people are stingy and miserly in their thinking. That is not wealth creation. Wealth is knowing that you have the mental capacity to create wealth and abundance. You can still spend money, have a great life. I'm not saying go without. People have a different variance of what is right for them, and I never say what is wrong and right. It's what's wrong or right for yourself. For me, I have a mentality that I want to live in the now. I love enjoying my life. I love traveling because it's high on my values. I love feeling free. You guys know I love going out on our boat, and I still love spending money, but I still take a massive responsibility in investing it to make sure that it grows for me over time. Well, for us, my husband and I, Matt, who's sitting behind the camera here, making sure this goes to plan. Okay, write this down, girls. My feelings are stronger than my words. Now, feelings is the same word as vibes. So if you want to ditch your negative vibes around money for good, know that your vibes are stronger than your words. So you've got to ask yourself, am I the sort of person who had those feelings around money? Guilt, shame, resentment, anger, rage, jealousy. Got something to prove. But I want to get wealthy, I want to get rich, or I want to have an abundance of money flowing in. But see how it doesn't quite match, because the feelings don't match the words. And the feelings always overrule the words. Write that down. My feelings will always overrule the words that I speak, because your feelings is the vibration, and your vibration is your point of attraction. I hope that made sense. That is pure gold, because so many people say to me, Amanda, I want to make money. I want to create wealth. I want to have freedom, financial freedom in my life. But I can feel in their vibrational energy that they have a lack mentality, or they think money's hard to come by, or I'm going to use this word, probably lazy in their thinking process of how they can create something of value for the community. How can they serve others? They want it all for nothing. But really, girls, money comes from fair exchange of value. You'll make money to the exact proportion of the value that you bring to other people's lives. Write that down. The more you serve, the more you create and earn. That is just a rule of nature. The second thing is about money, girls. The truth is, and the reality is, that most people will never become financially independent because money is not up on your top 1 to 3 values. And so if you have those feelings around money where you're angry, you're resentful, money's hard to come by, and you're running your life on fear, high chances are that it's not up in your high values. It's got to be up there in your top at least 5 values, or link your values up there. If it is not important for you, or you say that it's not important, you will never have it, because money only goes to where it's appreciated. Money goes where money flows. People who appreciate money see all the opportunity. They create abundance in their life. They are attractive to other people who have opportunities that may want to talk to them about these opportunities. Do you see where I'm going? But if you're running your life on negative vibes around money, fear and frustration, how can you expect opportunities to flow your way? They just don't. Now, here's some common actions now that I want to talk about that I've noticed from years and years of being on stage doing wealth creation seminars. You girls know for the past 13 years, Matt and I have traveled around Australia. We've been in America and even in London talking about wealth creation and abundance. And here, from my experience of mentoring thousands of people, the actions of the poor, remember I say, actions and feelings speak far greater than words, and this is what they do. They make some money, they get rid of it because they feel guilty for having it. or they think they're not worthy of having it. They spend more than they have. Now, I want you to put yourself in the shoes here and ask yourself, oh, do I spend more than I have? Are my credit cards maxed out? I've been guilty of it myself, don't worry. I'm not, these are the things that I had to learn through my mentors. How am I spending my money? Am I spending more than I have? Am I spending more money than I bring in each month? And do I have more money left at the end of the month than money left at the end of the month? Oh, most people have that. Never having enough. And, living in a downward spiral and feeling like there's no way out. Do you fit into that bucket? Where perhaps, you may know someone, you may have done it yourself. I know I used to do this when I was quite young. I'd let bad habits of thought run my life and keep me in that, bad habit of spending more money than I actually had on stuff that didn't grow in wealth. Spending it on what Robert Kiyosaki calls as doodads, big TVs, all this stuff that we don't need, Again, it's just to become aware. And as I said in last week's podcast, in life we have a choice. We can be the victor or the victim. We can play it either way around life and money because your vibrations equal your thoughts and your words. Now I'm just going to go into a few different things between distinct differences that I have noticed as well as a mentor between rich, middle class and poor thinking. And here's what I know about money. And girls, we've got probably about another 5 or 6 minutes left. Now, think about this and ask yourself, where do you fit in this space? Do you play the money game, wealth creation game, to win? That's what rich people think about. The rich, the middle class and poor. Rich people play the money game to win. The middle class hope and pray. Hope I'm going to win the Tats Lotto. I hope something will just fall into my lap, and they sit in fear often. They spend everything they have. They live from paycheck to paycheck. I know this used to be me as well. And they just got their fingers crossed, hoping to Christ something's going to happen for them. The poor people pray that they won't lose, but deep down they expect to lose because their vibration matches that. They don't feel worthy. They have resentment around money. They have anger. They have shame. They have guilt. So even though they might be trying to create money through a business, through investments, even through property, in the back of their mind, they're expecting to lose it. So what generally happens is they lose it. And isn't this interesting that, I only wish that we had been taught this at school. Imagine, girls, where we would be if this stuff was taught in classrooms. I didn't understand all this. And this is, sharing a little bit about my story. I had all this fear around money, and guilt around money because I thought, oh my God, money is all I ever think about. But money in itself is not bad. It's the meaning we attach to it, okay? Money, for goods and purposes, is just an energy. Money just flows, and all the good that you can do with it, you can change your life, you can change other people's lives, you can give to charities and schools and churches, help your parents out. There is so much good that you can do with money if you make money work for you instead of you becoming a slave to it. It's just that mental shift. See how the difference is in the mind garden, in the financial mind garden is up there. And here's the feelings and the vibes that I always say around people who create the most wealth in their life, the people who have financial or become financially free. They're not living off fear. They have feelings of worthiness. This is very important to change your feelings and your vibrations, to kick them to the curb for good girls, is feelings of worthiness, feelings of prosperity, feelings of being valuable to the community or the world, sharing your gifts and your talents and your wisdom, a willingness to become who you need to become. This is the language and the feelings and the vibes of the wealthy people out there. Inner joy, courage, and love. Now, it takes courage to become financially independent. It takes courage and love of self to move from those vibes of feeling unworthy and discouraged and angry and shameful around money to those feelings. Because in every one of our lessons, I often say to you girls, it's who we become. And it does. It takes a willingness to learn, a willingness to weed out the garden up here and change the seeds that are going to grow into weeds, into flowers, and courage like nothing else. It takes massive, massive courage of stepping up into your own strength and asking yourself, wow, how can I become more valuable? Not only to myself and my family and the people I care about, but to the community at large, on a global scale even. And you know, what happens is the wealthy, they take risks, they play life to the max, and their attitude is everything. The attitude is one of the number one keys to whether you're going to have wealth in your life or forever have vibes of being poor, unfulfilled, and never enough. Is the attitude. Optimistic versus pessimistic. And you've got to ask yourself, oh my God, am I the sort of person that always looks on that side of life where the glass is half empty all the time, there's never enough, and I'm always waiting for something to go wrong? Or am I more the optimistic, you know, looking for the sunlight, looking to see how I can add value? Just ask yourself these questions, put yourself in the shoes, and these are really great little, I think they're great little tips to go over and ask yourself, oh, if I'm in that bucket, how do I jump from this lack mentality to the abundance bucket over here? And they are attractive in nature. The great thing is this is all learned if we choose to change our thinking and empower ourselves. And I always say, you know, it's your duty. It's your duty to become successful. It's your duty to make as much money as you can so that you don't have to rely on others and the government for financial support as you mature. And, you know, I had a mentor that asked me once, he said to me, what financial knowledge are you passing down to the next generation? And wow, wasn't that an interesting question? So I'm going to ask you ladies, if you have children or family or others that you love and you care about, and we all do, what financial knowledge and vibes are you passing down to the next generation? Really quite interesting. And I'm actually not going to go too much into it any further now, because how long have I got, girls? I've gone for 45 minutes. I have got so many more notes. I've literally got another 4 pages here that I want to share with you. Give me a symbol, thumbs up or a love heart, if for the next podcast you want me to keep going much deeper into this, because I really want to talk about the different fears around money and why most people don't have it, and it is one of life's biggest frustrations. Getting a few symbols here. It's an interesting subject, isn't it? In fact, I could probably do 3 podcasts about it. This has been a great start to your morning. Fabulous! And look, I'm going to leave you with a thought. You know, what are the biggest fears around money and why most people don't have it, and why 99% of the population will never be financially independent? They will always be dependent on other people, their community, their church groups, their family, and the government in their beautiful years. I always say they're you know, golden years as we call them. Well, man, we are in the freaking golden years right now. Why wait? Do it now. Most people will never have financial success because they are worried about failing. I'm going to give you some fears to think about, and I'm going to end it on this because, as I said, in the next one I'm going to go much deeper, and I've got so many love hearts and thumbs up, and it might even be an extra long one next time. The biggest fears around money, and the reason that most people don't step up and into their own power, have the courage and the willingness to do whatever it takes to become valuable in the marketplace, is this. And you can write this down in your journal and ask yourself, quiz yourself at the end of this session, girls, because this is going to wrap me up. I'm going to look stupid. That used to be so many times, and I still suffer from that sometimes now. I'm not smart enough. I'd rather just sit here and get a handout. Somebody will take care of me. My kids will take care of me. The government will take care of me. Oh, so many people sit in that basket. Who do I think I am? What was I thinking? Am I able to go out there and be that valuable in the marketplace? This is what a lot of people think. It's just not possible for me. It's possible for other people, but it's not possible for me. Or when other people say to you, that idea won't work for you. It didn't work for me, so it's not going to work for you. Have you ever been in that basket, or have you ever had that experience? I know I have had that so many times. Oh, making money and creating abundance and wealth is too hard for me. I don't have the mental capacity. I've got too much on my mind. Too many worries to worry about that. What about this one? I'm not good with money. Have you ever said that? Or I'm too old and stuck in my ways now. I think it's a bit too late for me. I just don't know where to begin. I've got this far in life. I'll just sit back and let the universe take care of me. Maybe I'll win the lotto, hopefully. Or, money's hard to make, and if I make money, my taxes are going to go through the roof and I'm going to have more worries than I have now. I think I'll just give it a miss. Or if I start making money and wealth and abundance, taking care of myself for the future and my family and others, then I might get robbed. Have you ever thought of that? That's what I hear some people saying. I might get robbed. Or what happens if I make it and I lose it again? You girls have heard my story. There's been many times that we've created a fortune and lost a fortune. Do you ever have that fear and worry? And, I'll feel humiliated. What will my friends say? What will the neighbors say if I make it and lose it? Oh my God, how embarrassing. I'd rather just sit where I am. Again, no judgment, no right, no wrong. These are just questions to get you thinking. Girls, I am going to leave it on that note. I really wanted to leave you with something to think about this week, because there's so many of you on here. Again, I am so grateful that you jumped out of bed at 7 a.m. to join me on this live, girls, and so many comments, I really would love some comments about some of the things I said today too. Put them in here. If I hit a chord with you, I hit a frustration with you, you got an aha, what that aha was, share your ahas in here, girls, because it will help somebody else get an aha. Maybe what your biggest learning so far from the 45 minutes that I've been going on, nearly 50 minutes now, what did you get from today? And also, if you would love me to go open deeper or dive deeper into something that I said on today's podcast, in the next podcast, please put that in here today as well. Comment on it, because I know money is one of the biggest frustrations. Money is the biggest concern for so many people, yet they just don't have the strategies and the ideas and the concepts or the know-how to turn their frustration into a fabulous life where they become financially independent. So girls, that's going to wrap me up today. It is definitely bubbles o'clock. I have a dinner booking in 10 minutes. I'm going to go downstairs now. But I just want you to know I love you. Now, there's going to be a couple of rampages coming up over the next few days. I'll do a couple of little videos and photos of this beautiful beach area here at the Fontaine Blue. We are staying in Miami, Florida. And of course, when we get on the cruise ship on Sunday, I will be doing a couple of little live videos. That is the podcast though for this week. I just want you to know how much I love and appreciate each of you. I truly hope you got massive value today, girls. And again, please comment below, share your aha moments. There is no judgment, only love inside the select community. I am sending you all big Saiga hugs, sending you loves. I'm sick of drinking this green juice. I need a wine now. I look forward to seeing you on the next podcast on money honey. Give me a love heart if you love the idea of making the money. You love money because of what it can do for you. Hey, they say money doesn't make you happy. To me, that's just total bullshit. I'm going to do a podcast talking about why money can absolutely make you happy. I disagree with it totally. and I'm going to give you all my reasons why, my version of it. Yes, money can make you happy in life if you don't become a slave to it. Okay, ladies, that's it for me. I look forward to seeing you soon on a little rampage. Much love, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Okay, gorgeous people. So as you can see, we have covered so much in this week's podcast, and I'm truly looking forward to part 2 on how to ditch your negative vibes around money for good. And in next week's podcast, I'm going to go deeper and deeper into more tips and strategies. And until next week, I really appreciate you tuning in to the G'day Gorgeous podcast that empowers women for life and helps you go from feeling frustrated to fabulous in any area of your life, health, wealth, and happiness. And please, if you liked this episode and you found massive value, I would be so grateful if you would just take 30 seconds to leave me a review and pay it forward by sharing this podcast with somebody else that you love and care about, because it helps me and it certainly helps others out there looking for answers to life. Next week, we will be going over the second part of this powerful question, as I just said a moment ago, and I will give you so many tips and strategies. So be sure to have your journal on hand. And if you'd love to know more about how I can help you achieve your life's goals and the dreams that you want to live, and to find out more about our journals, the audio book, and wonderful stories of other women that I have mentored, again, pop over to my website, g'daygorgeous.com. And until next week, be bold, be courageous, and even more fabulous. Bye for now.